I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make mozzarella sticks. That's right. Now, fried food around here is a treat, and I make it, you know, not very often. It's not something that we cook on a regular basis, but I figured since you guys have wanted to see mozzarella sticks for so long, and I'm in the mood for them, I'm going to show you the recipe today. Now, let me take you over the ingredients so we can get started. You're going to need some breadcrumbs, some eggs, all-purpose flour, a touch of heavy cream, Italian seasoning, granulated garlic, some freshly grated Parmigiano, salt and pepper, and your mozzarella. Now, this is not the time for the really good, soft buffalo mozzarella that we love. The mozzarella you want to get for this is the kind that comes in a block like this, and it's dried, you know, sort of dry. I call it dry mozzarella because it's not real Italian mozzarella. Do you know what I mean? So, this is what you have to work with first. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it into little planks like so. And you can cut these as big or as small as you want. Just know that, you know, the time will vary if you do that. But you can also use, and I've used anyway, string mozzarella, string cheese. You know, the little tube, that works perfectly. Just cut those right in half and you are good to go. So those are always an option there. One more to go, and then I'm going to cut these in half, like so, and that's what you want them to look like. You can also do this instead of cutting them long ways like I did. You can cut them on the shorter ends so you have smaller mozzarella sticks, but it's completely up to you. Now let's work with the eggs next. I've got my eggs, a little bit of heavy cream, why not, salt and pepper, and then I'm just going to whisk these together until the eggs are well beaten. Looks great. Now we've got our breadcrumbs. You could, in theory, use Italian flavored breadcrumbs. They're not that pungent to me when it comes to their seasoning, so I like to buy plain breadcrumbs and season them myself to my liking. That's just the way I work. So I've got my garlic, my Italian seasoning. I'm gonna grate in here a good amount of Parmigiano. My grandmother puts Parmigiano in pretty much every batter, every breadcrumb batter possible. So I kind of do the same thing, and why wouldn't you, considering how delicious it is? So you can grate as much or as little as you want. Some is good, a little bit more is great, a lot is fantastic. So go nuts. Great. Pepper, a very small pinch of salt. Very small, because the mozzarella is salty, the Parmigiano is really salty. You don't want this to be too salty. Mix that in. All right, they look great. So now we've got our assembly line ready. I've got my flour, which I haven't seasoned only for the sole purpose that the mozzarella is really salty as well. I don't want to go too crazy. I'd rather have that crispy saltiness on the crust, which is where it should be. I've got my eggs, my flour, my mozzarella sticks, you're ready to go. Get a baking sheet or some sort of tray ready with some parchment paper lined. Now, this is what you do. Take each one, dip it in the flour. This is your dry hand. Take your other hand, coat them in the egg. Take your dry hand again in the breadcrumb. Then, and this is the crucial part, one of the crucial pieces. Back in the egg, back in the breadcrumb. It's important to create that double crust, that double layer. Otherwise, if you don't, you can run the risk of really not having enough batter or enough breading on the mozzarella sticks, and they will completely ooze out. So now that they're really well coated, look at that bad boy. I'm going to continue on, and then once they're all ready, they're going to go into the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours. But I want to show you what they look like once they're all breaded first. All my mozzarella sticks are breaded. Now these are going to go into the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours. They need to be completely frozen. And when they're there, I will show you what they look like so we can finally get these cooking up. They're going to be incredibly good. You're just going to have to trust me on this one. My mozzarella sticks were in the freezer for about 2.5 hours. I've just taken them out, and I've got a big pan filled with vegetable oil. Now, I fried something previous to this, so the oil is nice and hot to 375 degrees, which is ready to get going, so we can get these babies in there and frying. Now, I like to drop them in a spider, but you want to make sure you do this in batches, because if you add too many at one time, it's going to overcrowd your pan and drop the temperature of the oil down. Now these are just going to cook for a couple of minutes, and I've got a baking sheet here lined with some paper towels ready for them to go on as soon as they come out to absorb the extra oil. I'm going to just keep going in batches, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. I fried up all my mozzarella sticks. They just took a couple minutes. Just make sure you do them in batches. I've got some homemade marinara sauce. You could use anything you want to dip these in. I personally like ketchup. Do not judge. But anyway, I'm going to give this one a taste. Let's dip this in. Oops, look at that. I don't even have to. So good. They're so crispy, oozy, salty. They're just delicious. A complete and utter treat, no doubt. So if you're feeling up to it, making homemade mozzarella sticks can be done in no time. Go to laurainthekitchen.com and get the recipe. I hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.